In today's video, I'm going to talk about an upcoming open world Dungeons and Dragons video game. Now don't get too excited because we really don't have much information on it at this time, but we did get an announcement and we do know the company that will be behind it. And this is also probably a good time to talk about Wizards of the Coast and their plans for the future of D&D based video games. And you know what? At the end, we'll even quickly talk about Baldur's Gate 2. Yes, Baldur's Gate 2, not Baldur's Gate 3. Any of you guys that are new around here, I do have a big focus on D&D based video games on this channel, so make sure to hit that subscribe button for future videos. Links to my Twitter and my Discord server will be below. Let's get right into it. So first and foremost, how about I provide some evidence for this upcoming game? And there's no better way of doing that than with a good old-fashioned tweet. So over here in the Twitterverse, a company by the name of Hidden Path Entertainment tweeted on March 2nd. So I am a little bit late with this news, but I wanted to wait to see if we're going to get more information, which we didn't really. So now I'm making this video a couple months later. So on March 2nd, Hidden Path Entertainment tweeted, "Hidden Path is hiring. We are in development on a AAA third-person open-world fantasy RPG that will be taking place inside the Dungeons and Dragons franchise. And currently they're looking for a graphics programmer, a lead graphics programmer, senior technical artist, writer, and then you can get more info on the career section of their website." So yeah, this is the main news here, and it's pretty exciting to hear in my opinion because we haven't really gotten a truly open-world Dungeons and Dragons video game in recent history that I can think of, especially if you exclude the MMOs. So this is exciting. We have Baldur's Gate 3 to satisfy our CRPG needs, and if I made a video back in March, we would have been excited for Dark Alliance to satisfy our hack and slash needs, but we all know how that game ended up turning out overall, and I guess I'm not going to talk about it in this video. So hearing about an open world third-person RPG set inside the D&D franchise is exciting as long as the company making it is going to hold it to the same quality standards that many of us expect from anything that's tied to a D&D name. So Dungeons and Dragons has so much to it. Obviously the tabletop is the core experience, but then you have all the book series and previous successful video games. There's a lot of love for the world or worlds within Dungeons and Dragons and many beloved characters, and we don't want the name to be butchered. So having a high quality experience is very important. Hidden Path is advertising this as a AAA game, so they're going to have the budget to produce a high quality experience, but whether or not they will, we do not know. But the first thing that we can do is kind of speculate a little bit by looking into the company themselves and what they've done in the past. And after I do that, we're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive into some details on the website that might give away clues as to what this game is all about. So first, let's head over to the About section on the Hidden Path website, and I'm not going to read all of this. Hidden Path Entertainment is an independent video game company established to develop and produce interactive entertainment software for current and future generations of video game consoles and other computing platforms. Hidden Path is currently working on both independently funded and publisher-funded projects, developing fun, that's subjective, and innovative titles for some of the most popular companies in gaming. So we don't want to spend too much time on the About Us section because this is kind of like the company's resume to us consumers. And I know many of you guys have written resumes before that probably exaggerated a few things. In fact, you guys should let me know below some of the job titles that you guys have exaggerated. I have some funny examples myself. The company has 40 experienced game devs that average 12.5 years each of experience in the gaming industry and over 13 shipped titles per person. I mean, that's impressive if you believe it. Their management team includes industry veterans who have over 70 combined years of game dev experience. That doesn't really tell us much because maybe 2 of the game devs have like 50 of that 70, but regardless, the About Us section seems like it was well done. Sounds like they have an experienced team, and it also says that they've worked with studios like Microsoft Game Studios, Sierra Online, Virtual World Entertainment, among others. And then members of our management team have also worked as part of the Xbox, Xbox Live, and Xbox 360 launch teams. So I think we can safely guess now that this game will be a console game and probably also a PC game. And they also mentioned consoles earlier in the About Us section. So at this point, I think it's likely that this game will be console and PC. Not sure if there's going to be any exclusivity there. If there was, I would say it would be Microsoft exclusive. Highly unlikely that it will be a Sony exclusive, but hopefully it's not exclusive to anything so we can all enjoy this game. All right, now let's take a look at their actual game resume. You can see that they did Raccoon Lagoon, Brass Tactics, Witchblood, Access Code, Hypercade, Defense Grid, Age of Empires HD Edition, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and they did 2 other defense grids. So the first game that stands out for myself is obviously Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which is impressive. I did play that one. I think it's the 4th installment of the Counter-Strike series, and I think it did pretty well if I can remember correctly. Either way, being a part of Counter-Strike is pretty cool. Age of Empires stands out for myself as well, but they didn't actually make Age of Empires. They re-released an HD edition, so make of that what you will. Defense Grid is a top-down RTS type of game, while Raccoon Lagoon and Witchblood are both VR games. Raccoon Lagoon's a first-person VR game, and then Witchblood is a platformer VR game. It actually looks pretty cool. You guys should check it out. So it's kind of hard for me to say if their resume is impressive or not because I haven't played most of these games. If any of you guys have played any of these games, definitely let myself and others know below in the comments. If you have any experience with Hidden Path, we definitely want to know. Now, the one thing that does worry me is that there are no third-person open-world fantasy RPGs on this list. Hidden Path basically has 0 experience in that genre, and they're taking on a D&D open world game. So this is something to note. It doesn't mean they can't create a good game, and I'm sure that they're going to be hiring devs that have experience in those genres, but as a company, they've never done it. So that's just something to note, keep an eye on, and I guess when they release the game, we'll know right away if they were the company to handle a project like this. Now it's time to sidetrack a little bit, but then we'll get back to talking about that open world game. And now let's talk about Wizards of the Coast and the future of Dungeons and Dragons video games. So for those of you who might not know, Wizards of the Coast owns Dungeons and Dragons. So when a game development company wants to make a video game based on Dungeons and Dragons, either the lore or the rules and mechanics from different editions, they have to get a license from Wizards of the Coast, and Wizards of the Coast sometimes will just outright publish that game or even sometimes acquire the company themselves. And on June 15th, Game Industry Biz conducted an interview with Chris Cox, the president of Wizards of the Coast, about the future of D&D video games. And basically this article kind of highlights that Wizards of the Coast understands that video games are the present and the future. Of course, there's been plenty of D&D video games in the past, but maybe not as many as people expected, but this is about to start changing. Chris Cox says, as big and robust as tabletop gaming is, video games are bigger still. He says around 60 million people shop in hobby stores around the world, primarily purchasing strategy, role-playing, and collectible games like Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. 600 million people globally play those same genres on consoles, PCs, and phones. Boo, we don't like phones. So the potential is enormous. And then later in the interview, Chris reveals to us that just looking at the next 5 years, fans should expect at least 6 new D&D video games, but he's also including Dark Alliance and Baldur's Gate 3 in that list. So technically we should expect 4 new D&D video games within the next 5 years. And of course, the one that we were talking about earlier, the third-person open world one, should be included in that list. And then one more thing that I want to highlight in this article, and this relates back to Hidden Path's open world third-person upcoming D&D RPG. And Chris says that each game we will bring to the market will explore a different exciting adventure and set of gameplay themes in this diverse universe. In one game, you might run a thieves guild and traverse the thieves' highway of Waterdeep. In another, you might marshal dragon hosts in the war-torn world of Krynn. In still another, you might explore the very origins of the D&D universe in real-time combat. The brand's richness is an enabler of tons of amazing game experience, so rather than a challenge, we see it as an amazing opportunity. So Chris mentioned 3 possible future settings for these upcoming D&D video games. Waterdeep, the war-torn world of Krynn, and also the very origins of the D&D universe, whatever that means. And if I had to take a guess here, if I had to use one of these 3 locations for an upcoming open world third-person RPG, I would choose the war-torn world of Krynn. So the planet of Krynn is located in the Krynn space, which is an entirely different universe than the realm space, which is where the planet of Toril is located, where Faerun is located, and then on Faerun is the Sword Coast in Baldur's Gate. Now, the Sword Coast in general, which includes Waterdeep here, is been overused a little bit, I guess you could say, in video games and just in D&D in general. So to have a really nice fresh experience with an open world video game, I think the coolest place to do this would be the planet of Krynn. So this is what I'm speculating right now. And also I should mention that I think a new Dragonlance novel is coming out either later this year or next year, which is kind of bringing some hype into the world of Krynn, and then it would be a great time to announce a video game based on this world. So this is obviously speculation, very exciting to think about. Definitely let me know what you guys think below in the comments. All right, one more thing in this article, and then we're gonna go back to Hidden Path's website, and then we'll talk about Baldur's Gate 2. I know some of you guys are waiting for that part. So later on in the article, Chris says, Xbox is a fantastic partner. I actually started at Microsoft in games and the Xbox division specifically, and Game Pass allows us to scale a new game IP very quickly to a massive audience. So this is just one more indicator that we'll likely see many of these upcoming games on consoles and PC and possibly PlayStation as well. But it seems like Wizards is getting really comfy with Microsoft and Xbox. All right, let's go back to the Hidden Path Entertainment and talk about the game itself. So now I'm on the career section of Hidden Path's website, and I clicked on one of the job openings for Senior Combat Designer to see if this tells us anything about the game. And it really doesn't tell us much, but I do want to talk about one bullet point right here. For duties and responsibilities for the Senior Combat Designer, they'll work with gameplay programmers to implement classes, enemies, abilities, weapons, and other combat features in Unreal 4. So this is telling us that this game will likely have a class system. I know many of us already expect this, but there are many games out there, maybe even like Skyrim, where you more so go down different weapon builds and you can do various different things. It seems like this game is going to have more of a class system, although I'm not entirely sure. Classes could mean many different things. And we also learned that the game is being developed with the Unreal 4 engine, which was made by Epic Games, who made Fortnite, and there's many games that were made on this engine. The Final Fantasy VII Remake, Jedi Fallen Order, a Yoshi game, Borderlands 3, and many more. I don't know much about game engines. Some of you guys might have an opinion on the Unreal Engine. Definitely let me know below in the comments. Right below this, it says work with artists and animators to design fantastical weapons, movesets, abilities, and creatures with good form and function. And I could keep reading more of these, but it's nice to read this, but it doesn't really tell us much, so I'm going to stop right there. And now on to the final part of the video, Baldur's Gate 2 news. Well, it's not actually Baldur's Gate 2 technically, but instead a Neverwinter Nights 2 mod called Baldur's Gate 2 Reloaded.
Do you even know who you face? You will suffer. You will all suffer.
The video that you see playing right now is the promo trailer for this mod, and I'll put a link to that below. Definitely check it out after the video. So this mod includes both Shadows of Amn and the Throne of Baal expansion pack, and from the trailer we can see that a lot, if not all, of the companions from the original game will be making an appearance. There's even a squeak sound from what must be Boo. Baldur's Gate 2 Reloaded is a free, not-for-profit project that has no affiliation with the Baldur's Gate 2 developers or publisher. The most noticeable difference is, of course, that you're now playing this game in the third-person perspective. So this project must have been a ton of work for the modding community, so I highly recommend checking it out, especially if you're one who has played the originals. And even if you haven't, this game might be a good opportunity for you to be introduced to some of the BG2 companions that may also make an appearance in Baldur's Gate 3, but of course play the originals as well. Really cool stuff. And that will be it for today's video. Definitely let me know below your thoughts on this upcoming open world D&D game. Like I said before, I'll definitely be watching this like a hawk, so any news that we get or any important information, I will be covering it on this channel. If you guys ended up enjoying this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I do all sorts of content on this channel, ranging from live streams. I always kind of forget this part, and I've been doing it for hundreds of videos now. Live streams, game reviews, game tutorials, lore videos, and much more. All right, you know, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'll catch you guys on the future stream video. What the hell?